organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, No Shave November is growing in full force among many UI students. But for one group, the extra facial hair says something more. We'll tell you what.
And while the University of Iowa is on its way to climbing to new heights, the rock wall at the rec center is leaving them with a cliffhanger. We'll explain what boulders are blocking their way.
And in sports, pregame may be over, but soon you'll have our brand new Thursday Coach's Corner segment.
That's all coming your way next. Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Good evening and welcome to your Thursday edition of Daily Iowan TV. Your news, weather, and sports broadcast for everything Iowa City. I'm Christina Targos.
And I'm Muriel Kone. Two lucky ticket holders in Arizona and Missouri are waking up as multimillionaires after the Powerball numbers were drawn Wednesday night. The winning numbers were 5, 16, 22, 23, 29, and Powerball number 6. The jackpot is estimated at $588 million, making it the second largest jackpot in U.S. history. Although there were no jackpot winners in Iowa, 7 tickets sold in the state had all but one right number. Results show that more than 114,000 tickets sold in Iowa are winning prizes from $4,000 to $40,000 in Wednesday night's drawing.
The Iowa Department of Natural Resources is warning deer hunters that they may see long lines to get licenses, but fewer deer. The DNR said it expects to sell more than 50,000 licenses between Wednesday and Saturday morning, the opening day of Iowa's shotgun deer season. DNR experts said the deer numbers could drop by at least 10% from last year as a result of the long-standing strategy to cut the herd population. The November antlerless season was canceled this year because the deer population has finally decreased. Because of this, the January antlerless season is also shortened 1 week. The December shotgun season opens December 1st and runs through the 5th. The second season is open from December 8th to the 16th.
And a group of UI students started the campaign Beards for Boobies last November with a simple challenge of seeing who could grow the best beard. The challenge quickly changed into a fundraising campaign when one of the students' moms was diagnosed with breast cancer. The campaign is raising money for cancer research by selling t-shirts and wristbands. Those interested can buy items and donate at beardsforboobies.com. Last year, the group donated roughly $2,000, and this year they hope to do the same. Their fundraising efforts are being celebrated at 5 p.m. on December 6th.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, get ready to pack up your hiking gear. We'll show you the dangers and safety precautions you need to know about rock climbing.
And in sports, hoops updates and a visit from our wrestling beat reporter, Cody Goodwin, ahead of the weekend's face-off with the rival Iowa State. But first, we'll turn to Melissa Mahalik for a look at the weekend weather. And Marissa, I hear we might be having some warm weather this week, despite a week of chilly days.
Well, Muriel, you may have been surprised by the chillier temperatures at the beginning of the week. But don't worry, temperatures have been warming up and should stay mild throughout the weekend. A fun fact, though, a recent study showed that this past summer was the 9th hottest summer in history, so we should not be shocked if we have a cold winter. But don't worry about those cold temperatures yet. Tomorrow morning, expected to be 34 degrees and mostly sunny, reaching its way up to 48 degrees in the afternoon. Then we should have a mostly clear evening, dropping to 46 degrees. Looking into our extended forecast, Saturday and Sunday will be mostly cloudy in the mid-50s, so you may need to wear a light coat. Monday should peak into the mid-60s with a 30% chance of rain, so make sure you have an umbrella. Tuesday will be sunny in the 50s, and Wednesday will bring us to 46 degrees with partly cloudy skies. That's all I have for weather tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Marissa. The UI student who fell off the CRWC rock wall is making big progress towards recovery, but the CRWC has made little progress towards opening the rock wall. UI spokesperson Tom Moore said the wall is closed indefinitely, and the cause of the accident is still under review. In the meantime, Daily Iowan reporter Rebecca Hager decided to investigate the safety precautions taken to prevent falls and injuries.
Rock climbing, when the thrill of risk takes new heights. But the fine line between thrilling and dangerous disappears when equipment goes wrong. UI student Spencer Bean met danger when he fell 30 to 40 feet on the CRWC rock wall. This photo, taken from his recovery blog, shows the damage done to his 2 crushed vertebrae. But after a fall that should have left him paralyzed, he's already up and walking again. The rock wall, on the other hand, is not up and running again.
Even though the University of Iowa rock wall is closed, we came to Climb Iowa in Des Moines to find out just how safe it is to strap yourself to a rope and climb 30 feet.
Calla Whip of Climb Iowa took me through a serious safety orientation.
The first thing that we're going to do is show you how to put on your harness. The next thing we're going to have you do is step over here. Climbing is an inherently dangerous sport, so we have these rules to help reduce the risks.
And with all these rules and safety measures, a climber should be, well, safe, right?
You can take every safety precaution possible and have the best equipment you can buy, but there's still risk with every climb, because with every climb, there's a descent.
One that's hopefully without error.
Belaying errors can happen when there's a lack of communication between the climber and the belayer. Climb on. And that when you're not doing your safety checks. You also want to make sure that when you're belaying that you're constantly keeping your right hand on the brake rope. It should never come off.
Because if it does,
so the rope is just going to whip through the belay device.
Which is bad news for the climber. But errors can be prevented.
Take precautions when you're checking your harness, when you're checking your belay device, when you're checking your knot. Everything needs to be done properly.
And when all the right precautions are taken, a dangerous climb becomes an adventurous sport.
It's, like we said, it's an inherently dangerous sport, but that is part of the draw. Just like any other dangerous activity, if you take out the danger, then you don't have climbing anymore.
And despite falls and injuries, that thrill is what keeps rock climbers clicking in and climbing up. This is Rebecca Hager, Daily Iowan TV.
The owner of Climb Iowa said his business with UI students has increased a little since the rock climbing accident.
And the University of Iowa is hosting the Mirage this Saturday to raise awareness for World AIDS Day. UI doctors said although the U.S. has made some progress in HIV/AIDS research and education, more needs to be done. The Mirage event aims to help promote diversity on campus, educate students about HIV/AIDS, and promote the importance of being safe and being tested.
And now we'll turn to Ryan Jones to get the scoop on what's happening these next few weeks.
Thanks, Christina. Now we have a few things you should keep an eye out for the next week. On Monday and throughout the rest of the week, President Obama and legislative leaders will be meeting on the Hill for that fiscal cliff. The deadline for that deal is on the 31st of December. If lawmakers do not come up with a deal, we're going to see automatic spending cuts and tax hikes. Now, here in Iowa City, on Wednesday, a collection of student groups will hold a protest to save the Center for Human Rights. The center is seeing its loss of funding because of budget cuts. The protest starts at 3 on the Pentecrest if you want to go and join them. And on Friday, it's the official last day of classes for the fall semester. That means that students have the weekend, then finals start up on Monday. So study up and enjoy the last couple of weeks. Back to you guys.
A busy weekend ahead of us in Hawkeye Athletics, so let's throw it over to Lauren Moss, who is standing by in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio with more. Lauren?
Yeah, that's right, Christina. A whole lot of black and gold sports action on the horizon, but we start tonight's show with an update from last night's ACC Big Ten Challenge. Yesterday, we billed the matchup between Lisa Bluter's bunch and the Seminoles of Florida State as a classic matchup of offense versus defense. Unfortunately for the black and gold, the Seminoles kept things rolling on the offense end, pouring in 83 points. And just for good measure, they beat the Hawks at their own game as well, forcing 24 turnovers. Daily Iowan TV Sports women's basketball reporter Alyssa Bergamini is standing by in the Daily Iowan newsroom. And Alyssa, what did you see from the Hawks last night?
Thanks, Lauren. Well, the Hawkeyes could not handle the heat during last night's game. The Iowa women's basketball team lost last night to Florida State 83-69. During halftime, Florida State led 33-30, and the Hawkeyes lost the ball 24 times, which was not to their advantage. This was 11 more times than Florida State, and despite the team's loss, there were some individual members who came out with stamina. Morgan Johnson scored 20 points, Samantha Logic with 14, and Jamie Printy with 13. The team will fly back from Florida tonight and return this Sunday to play against Northern Iowa. That's all from me today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, thank you, Alyssa. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, with the end of football season, pregame will no longer be filling out Thursday's programming, but with that, a new Thursday segment will be taking its place. Throughout the next few weeks, our sports staff will be going behind the scenes to tell you stories of the leaders and coaches of Hawkeye Athletics. The series' executive producer, Annie Costable, kicks off our coverage with a sit-down interview with head track and field coach Larry Wizarek, where they discuss his career here as an Iowa Hawkeye student, the influence his coaches have had on his career, the legacy he hopes to leave behind, and the upcoming track and field season.
As a student athlete, I came to Iowa because of the people. You know, really, I was looking at Big Ten schools and being recruited by Big Ten schools, and it just felt like my gut feeling was on the people that I met at Iowa, Coach Kretzmeyer, you know, among them. And then I wasn't thinking, you know, boy, this coach is going to make me great, or I'm going to go there and we're going to be champions, or anything like that particularly. But we were. It kind of puts a governor on me, you know, say, hey, if I fall short of what maybe how they would have acted, then I said, oh man, you didn't live up to the expectations there of Coach Kretzmeyer, or, you know, or my high school coaches. So I think they showed me how to be, you know, to be good people. I hope that I leave a legacy. I hope that I honored Coach Kretzmeyer, and that, you know, I think winning the Big Ten track championship a couple years ago in 2011, you know, that certainly brought me a lot of peace, you know, in my career, that we did that here in Iowa City. But, you know, I think when you leave, you always hope that you made the place a better place. That's going to be our challenge this year. What type of team will we become, you know, this year? Can we contend for a title outdoors? Can we, you know, always I think the goal is to become as good as you can be.
Thanks for that, Annie. And we've talked throughout today's show about everything going on in the world of Hawkeye sports. But perhaps the most important event of all this weekend is the Iowa State on the mats at Carver. And for that, we bring in our own daily Iowan TV reporter, Cody Goodwin. And Cody, what can we expect from this weekend?
Well, you're going to expect Iowa coming in with the upper hand on the Cyclones. It's always going to be a tough duel between Iowa and Iowa State, always has been, probably always will be. But Iowa, again, coming in with the upper hand. They're going to have a few weights where they will be heavily favored. At 125, Matt McDonough. At 157, Derek St. John. At heavyweight, Bobby Telford. So they're going to be heavily favored. They're really just going to go in and take care of business, score those extra bonus points that they know they can get to take away the victory from against Iowa State on Saturday night, walk out of Carver with another victory. They'll improve to 6-0 if they're able to get it. But again, they're just going to have to take care of business. The most intriguing matchup of the night actually is going to be at 133 between Tony Ramos and a freshman at Iowa State named John Meeks, who never lost a single match in high school. He went 168-0, won 4 consecutive Iowa State championships, and he's just one of a handful of Iowa wrestlers in high school to ever do that. And so Tony Ramos, talking earlier in the week, said he's not real impressed after watching a few tapes on John Meeks, but it will be an interesting match just to see. He's looking to make a statement this weekend.
Well, definitely, we'll look forward to seeing that. And with that, that's all for us here in sports. Be sure to tune back in Sunday for full coverage of everything black and gold, including coverage of the Hawkeye swim, gymnastics, basketball, track, and wrestling teams. All in action this weekend, so back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lauren. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Friday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about why birth control sparks controversy among different groups.
And also about what was discussed at the President's Committee on Athletics meeting Thursday night.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time Sunday or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
And thanks for watching. Have a great night.